Hey y'all, it's your girl. I'm out here in my hotel room in San Francisco. I'm getting ready to leave in about 20 minutes to go see a client. And I wanted to give you a quick shout. Thank you guys for the positive response to my last video on editing your life. I got calls and texts and DMs saying, yes, Mo, I felt that in my soul. I need to edit my life. But it's one thing to know that you should do something, it's a whole other thing to know how to do it. So, in the next few minutes, I'm going to give you three things that I did to edit my life, practical tips that you can use. But before I do that, I want to give you a harsh truth that you have to accept if you're going to edit your life. Everything that is on your plate currently is there because you said yes to it at some point. And as a result of saying yes to too many things or to the wrong things, we are in overwhelm, we are fatigued. I coined a term called being soul fatigued. That's when your mind, your will, and your emotions are tired in addition to being physically tired. And when we're soul fatigued, we don't make good decisions. When we're soul fatigued, we are irritable. When we're so fatigued, we don't show up the way we need to in our relationships. We don't show up the way we need to in our workspaces. And when our will is tired, your will is a resolve to take a defined course of action. When your will is tired, that's when we get into stuff like overeating. We get into stuff like spending too much money because our souls are tired. Your mind, your will, and your emotions are tired. And we're in overwhelm. But here's the harsh truth. And I had to accept this before I could change some things in my life. No one is coming to save you. You are going to have to save your own self, as we would say from New Orleans, where I'm from. You got to save your own self. If you are going to edit your life, when I know when I got ready to edit my life, nobody came and took me by the hand and said, baby, I see you overwhelmed. Come on, let me show you what to do. It was up to me to figure out what to do and then to actually do it. Because those around us have gotten used to us showing up the way that we show up. And in some ways, us being soul fatigued, it serves them because a lot of us are giving, we're doing, and I'm not saying you shouldn't give and you shouldn't do and you shouldn't give of yourself. But there's a point at which you have to realize that my cup is empty. And if I'm going to fill up my cup, I need to edit my life. So there were three things that I did when I was in the process of editing my life. The first thing that I did was I learned to immediately, when someone said, hey, can you do this? I learned to immediately say, let me get back to you. I had a hard time saying no. And no at first sounded too harsh. So I immediately perfected the technique of let me get back to you. That gave me the breathing room to actually sit down and think, do I have the time to do this? Do I have the resources to do this? Do I even want to do this? And I didn't have to tell them no right away. I could go back, take a beat, and thoughtfully think about whether I wanted to, had the resources to, and had the time to do whatever it was they were asking me to do. Then I would pop open my calendar. So we go to our phones, we pop open our calendar, and I would look and I would see that, oh yeah, that day is free. It's something that I want to do, and I have the resources to do it. Okay, I'm going to do it. But then what would happen is I wouldn't take into account what was on the other side of that commitment. So the second thing that I had to learn to do after saying, let me get back to you, is I had to do what I call the short glance at my calendar. I had to look at the day before the commitment and the day after and see what did those days hold for me physically? What did they hold for me in terms of giving out of energy and time? And then I had to consider how the thing I was being asked to do fit into that. So I didn't just look at my calendar and say, oh yeah, I'm free that day. I had to learn to do the short glance, look the day before and the day after. So that's the short glance. The third thing I had to learn to do was I had to learn to take what I call the long glance. I then began to not only look at the day before and the day after, but I also had to take a look at the week before and the week after. And this is how I started planning my months and managing my energy and my resources across months. Is I had to look at what did the week before hold. So this week I'm traveling. That means that next week I have taken on very few commitments. Why? Because I want to get back. I want to recuperate. I got to adjust from a little bit of a time change, a little bit of jet lag. I want to catch up with my family. I want to catch up with myself. And if I don't catch up with myself, I don't have the time to think through thoughtfully where I should be, what I should be doing, and I don't show up as my best self. So I've done the long glance. Those were the 3 techniques that I used in order to get some sanity in my calendar, because I realized that before I could build the life that I wanted, I had to edit the life that I had. So those are 3 quick tips that you can use to begin to edit your life. I'll holler back at y'all maybe in another video with a few other things, because as time went on, I perfected some other techniques that has really helped me create a life that I love. It was funny the other day. My son and I, we were out Saturday walking around. It was a beautiful day out in Jersey. We were walking around and we were walking to our car, and a woman stopped me. And she said she was in her car. She was looking for a parking space. She said, where are you going to your car, and where are you coming out of? I said, I'm way down there. She said, oh, that's too far. And then she started to drive off. Then she backed up and she said, I like your makeup. And I looked at her. I said, girl, I'm not wearing any. She said, girl, bye. We laughed. But if you don't think editing your life works, it does. Because I feel better, and apparently I'm looking better. Love y'all. I'm going to see y'all next time. Bye.